And in the Islamic seminaries, you go around, you see that people are challenged the way they think. They are asked to give more what? In ideas, in thoughts. The question is, what do we do here with those thoughts? How many of us truly take the time to study that? How many of us look, you think that Imam, when we talk about the 12th Holy Imam and his appearance, and you'll see in these coming nights how I link this verse that I started with, أَمَّنْ يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ, how I link it to the 12th Holy Imam. I'm just introducing the topic. A lot of us, when we talk about the appearance of the Imam alayhi salam, in what context do we talk about him? Most of us talk about the miracles, the army, the war, right or wrong? Right or wrong? How the army is going to go up, how the swords are going to be. Let me ask you, does that mean that 12th Holy Imam is going to force religion upon others? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, La ikraha fi din. There is no compulsion in religion. No matter what you do, you cannot force an idea on someone. He or she might listen to you, and because of fear, they behave the way you want. But there is what I call a free zone in the human self. A free zone. No one can own it. You know what that free zone is? The heart. I don't care who it is. No one can take it by force. You can relinquish authorities to others with your choice. You can give that love. You can give the heart. You know, some of us just fall in love. We listen to someone charismatic. We listen to someone with ideas, with thoughts, and we give up our hearts for him to fill in whatever he wishes. How do we give it up? Because he was able to access our minds. The Imam Salamullahi Ta'ala alayhi, we have a lot of ahadith that say at the time of his appearance, he will complete the intellect. What does that mean? That they are, and they do have access, being the Imam of the time, to the self of ours. And therefore, if through him being him, what happens when he accesses us? That access to us, how does it happen? Where does it happen? Read the Ziyar al-Jami, read the visitation, and understand the value of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam. If we always think about the appearance of the Imam in the context of force, violence, and war, we completely misunderstand the Imam alayhi salam. The weakest of all is the one that forces their ideas on others. It means your idea is so weak, you cannot access the mind. And religion is the last thing that you can force someone into. You cannot force someone into religion. They might act as if they're religious, they might pray and fast, but their heart is not convicted, is not committed. How then does it happen? In these coming nights, it is truly amazing. You think that Imam alayhi salam is absent and sitting isolated somewhere doing nothing and just waiting, praying and fasting? The Imam alayhi salam is in the heart of the action. He is part of what is happening. But we are not aware, who is he? Where is he? The more we refine ourselves, the more we'll see how him and his hands, they are moving things in the right direction. Because at the end of the day, the entirety of a humanity is his responsibility. Each and every one of us is the responsibility of the 12th Holy Imam alayhi salam. The question is, how do we relate to that? The question is, how do we become part of this large community called the community of the 12th Holy Imam? How can we be a community in presence and not in occultation? How can we ask the Imam to be part of us when he is part of us, so we can become aware of him? This is how and what we'll try to do in these coming nights within the understanding and the teachings of the Holy Quran and Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wasalam. But let me tell you, without the interest in your hearts and your minds, because this becomes a responsibility. Once you know and you do nothing about it, it becomes a responsibility on you. Some might say, okay, stop talking. You know, maybe if I run away, ignorance doesn't become a virtue. I don't want to hear, I don't want to listen. But maybe it's that knowledge that will spark interest and will bring life to your heart. And this is what we see, dear brothers and sisters, Imam Hussein salamullahi ta'ala alayhi in Karbala. What was he doing in Karbala? He was protecting that knowledge. Imam Hussein alayhi salam was protecting that knowledge to be passed on to whom? To the 12th Holy Imam, for us to be carriers of that knowledge. We become part of Karbala when we protect that knowledge. We become part of the mission, the goals and objectives of the Imam salamullahi ta'ala alayhi on the 10th day of Muharram in Ashura. When I become one of the people, a supporter in the community of the 12th Holy Imam. The question is how? How do I become part of that community? Al-Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, on the 10th day of Muharram, he stood before the enemies of Allah. He reminded them, Ayyuhan nas, O people. He was reminding them, Ayyuhan nas, don't you know whose grandson am I? Who's my father? Who's my mother? Do you know this turban? Do you know this sword? Imam Hussein alayhi salam was reminding them of the people, the enemies of Allah. The enemies of Allah at the time of killing Imam Hussein alayhi salam. They rejected, they refused to see the truth. For what reason? It is because Allah Azza wa Jal, in His almighty wisdom and knowledge, when these people decided to kill the grandson of the Prophet, the son of Lady Zahra, the son of Ali ibn Abi Talib, it is because of the hatred they had to his father Ali. For he's the one who killed all these disbelievers. It is because Imam Ali alayhi salam was the one who killed the disbelievers at the time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Dear brothers and sisters, you see the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam were so infatuated with Imam Hussein, opposite to the enemies of Allah. On one camp there was hate, on the other camp there was love. It was narrated, Abis was a warrior who fought alongside Imam Hussein alayhi salam. When he went to the battlefield, he was fighting the enemies of Allah. They were running away from him. He fought them further. They ran away. No one would come and fight Abis. Abis let down. He let go of his sword. He let go of his shield. And he attacked them with his bare hands. They told him, Ya Abis, what is wrong with you? Have you gone insane? He said, E wallah, Hubbul Hussein, ajannani la talumuni. The love of Imam Hussein call me insane, don't blame me, dear brothers and sisters. And that is why Imam Hussein alayhi salam, at every companion of his, when he fell on the grounds of Karbala, the companions would call, Assalamu alayka Sayyidi Aba Abdillah, salutations be upon you, Master Aba Abdillah. And Imam Hussein alayhi salam would go to him, would give him the farewell. Assalamu ala al-Hussein wa ala Ali ibn al-Hussein wa ala awlad al-Hussein wa ala أصحاب الحسين يا ليتنا كنا معكم سادتي فنفوز فوزا عظيما. We ask Allah to accept the little we offer, to forgive us and to guide us. And the last of our prayers, after reciting Surah Al-Fatiha to the souls of all the deceased ones, the last of our prayers, As-salat ala Muhammad